please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone, to Monday, March 7th. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, come up to one of the microphones, give us your name and your address, and state your business, please. We call the roll, please.
Cedar.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Kinsfater.
Here.
Kleeman. Cuffa.
Here.
Laporte.
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'd like to add one item under new business, number 9D, ratify POLC contract. Number 4, the consent agenda, A, City Council minutes of February 15th, 2016, regular meeting, recommendation approved. B is the Cemetery Board of Trustees minutes of November 17th, 2015, regular meeting, recommendation received. And the Harbor Commission minutes of February 20th, 2016, regular meeting, recommendation received.
Motion to approve A through C as presented.
Support.
All right, the motion made. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Go to 5, presentation. We have a presentation tonight from our librarian, Julie Aliff. Julie, do you want to take the stage?
Hello. Here to talk about the library last year, and our priorities and goals haven't changed that much. That what we want to do is basically what the community wants to do. We want to be a resource for the community and be responsive to any requests for service from the community. In addition to that, we attempt to employ staff that brings talent to the community. And what we spend a lot of our time doing is hand selling the wide variety of services that we have to individuals that come into the library. And the main library does their best to get the word out as to what the services are, but they are pretty mind-blowing. And you really have to take them one at a time and take people through them, because there just are so many things that we offer at the community, at the library. And it's not just our library, but also, of course, the St. Clair County library system, that at any point in time, if you were to say, what do you have in, say, audiobooks, and you're in the St. Clair library, you're only looking at less than 1/10 of what's available to you. That the rest of it's available through the card catalog, which is available online. And so we show people how to use the card catalog online so that they can pull materials from other places. But it's even bigger than that. We have access to the Michigan Electronic Library, which is a whole slew of databases that support businesses, business information, medical information, periodicals, all kinds of stuff. And we can also borrow books from other library systems. So if you want, say, an obscure third book in a series, we can get it for you. It may take a week because it's coming from Ann Arbor or Traverse City or someplace like that, but there is a system in the state of Michigan that moves those books around by truck. It's pretty mind-blowing. The library usage, in terms of physical people that we're seeing, we don't see anywhere near as many faces as we used to. Some of it has to do with the recession, and that there just aren't as many people in town. But a lot of it also has to do with the fact that we have so many resources available online, that there are lots of people that I used to see 2 times a week that now I see once a year, because they get all their books online. We offer print books, and audio books are available online 2 different ways. Overdrive is one system that we purchase from, where we buy a book and say it's $175 to buy an ebook. And the way that works is that you buy one book and one user can use it. And so you have people waiting for books, just like they do with physical books, which is a drag. And it's expensive. We just recently contracted with another company that has a completely different business model, that you pay for each download. And that also means that you can have one book and 5 readers. It's called Hoopla, and you can create an account if you have a library card. But in addition to ebooks and e-audio, it also has music, movies, comic books, and TV series. So it's really kind of like a turbo Netflix, having ebooks and e-audio and music. It's amazing. We're also trying to, within the world of the library, there's a whole trend towards maker stuff. And that is that people want to make things for themselves. And oftentimes, and in big, giant libraries, they're talking about having machines where you can program them to make things out of plastic or whatever. We don't have that kind of money, and what's even worse is that we don't have the staff and technology to staff it. Is that if you're going to show people how to make something on a machine like that, the people that come in need a lot of help. Speaking of which, we also have new copiers that they scan, and they're also color copiers in addition to printing. The facility is holding up really, really well. The DPW helped us build some storage in the back that helped us create a lot of space for more storage. The Friends of the Library continue to be just an amazing source of support. That they have an ongoing book sale in the conference room, and from that book sale, they fund pretty much whatever we need. They fund summer reading, upgrades to the facility. They just added new shutters to the conference room. They bought us a smart TV. Another kind thing that the community did for us is that Bill McDonald of Bill McDonald Ford took our bike rack, which is a beautiful piece of sculpture and multicolored, and had it started to rust a little bit with the weather, and it repainted it, and it's back to its multicolored glory. It looks fantastic. Our staff is amazing. I've been there for 13 years. Mary Kelly's been there for 13 years. Joni Leroy's been there for 13 years, and we have a couple newbies at like 3 or 4 years, Kathleen O'Mara and Lisa Fountain, and Kathleen and Rebecca Casey. So it's a steady, solid group, and that's important when you're dealing with, how to show people how to use technology, what is available within the system. It's not one of those things that you can train somebody in 2 or 3 months. That when one of the people started, I said, it takes about a year to train a librarian. And they laughed and laughed and said, no way. And a year later, I said, what do you think? And they went, oh man, there's still so much more to learn. We're also trying to do more displays to get people into different books without having to talk to us. People are pretty shy. They don't really want to talk to us, and so we've set up displays and other things in the stacks to help them maybe find a different author, a new something. We probably have a lot more failures than we have successes with regard to programs. Tonight we had a movie for kids and no one came to it. So we are very anxious to hear what the community would like to have at the library, because we want to have programs that people enjoy and come to. We recently had, the Friends just did one about a tug on the ice of 2014. The Friends paid for that, and that one was very well attended. That's the first Thursday program series that happens the first Thursday of each month, and they have some pretty neat stuff with regard to that. I think I covered some of the stuff that I that I wanted to. We have 3 different book clubs that we support out of the library, as well as a lot more that we support neighborhood book clubs. They're starting a writers group, which is going to start up on Saturday at 11. They're looking for people who are interested in writing and supporting each other. But we're just happy to be part of the sharing economy. And any questions or concerns or things you'd like to see?
Well, I would just like to tell you, Julie, I get down there once in a while, and I think that Mel is just an amazing resource that probably more people should learn about. And I also want to thank you for enlightening me about Mango. I use that, and it's really a good program.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Mango is a language program, which is available through our databases, and it has everything from Mandarin to Italian. It is an incredible resource, and that's just one stop in our databases. We have another one, which are called Gale courses, and those are college-level classes, and they cover a variety of things, from word to writing to business writing, all kinds of stuff. If you are an employer and you have employees that you'd like to bring up to snuff, it is definitely a terrific place because they are free to people with library cards. Their classes, they last about 6 weeks. They're all online. They come from another place. I think it's called Learn for Life. And if you were to go to that website, they'd be $100 a class. So there's tons of resources available.
Thank you. Anybody have anything for Julie? Keep up the good work down there, girl.
Thank you. Come see me.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, we have nothing under number 6. We'll go to number 7, reports of administration. Nothing on A. Mr. Downey, do you have anything?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
C, city departments. All right.
To remind everybody of the election tomorrow, the presidential primary. Polls will be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll see you there.
Can you tell us where each board votes?
Yes. Ward 1 votes here at City Hall. Ward 2 votes at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and Ward 3 votes at Pine Shores Golf Course.
Thank you. Go to D, anything, authorities, boards, commissions, committees? I'll go to number 8. We have no unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. A, approved PWC installation. Mitch, do you want to touch on that, or do you want
Sure.
Katie to, or both?
Maybe both. We are seeking approval to install a watercraft, personal watercraft docks at the harbor. We're looking for a check for a total of $15,161.45. We decided to move the location of the docks. Instead of the south wall there, we're going to be putting them on the wall closest to the launch. It's been approved by the Army Corps of Engineers, and the Community Foundation will disperse the money once the project's completed.
This was unanimously approved by the
Harbor Commission?
I see in the minutes.
Yes.
Katie, do you want to add anything to this?
So the Community Foundation has already dispersed the money.
Katie couldn't wait to come and speak to us tonight.
The Community Foundation already dispersed that money. The DNR will disperse the remainder grant money after the project's completed.
All right, stay right there. Any questions for Katie or Mitch?
I do have a question. My only concern is being that I've spent all my life down there, not all my life, but a lot part of my life down at the marina. That is the busiest boat launch in the area, and I've got a lot of concerns about the congestion coming in there we're squeezing off about, I think that we're looking at about 15 feet from the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We're squeezing off 15 feet of that lane. I'm just really concerned that not a lot of thought was put into where this location is going. We're in a big hurry just to put these personal watercraft. If I'm wrong, correct me, but we're just trying to find a place for these personal watercraft, and I'm not sure that launch ramp is the right place.
Well, we had discussed about switching the departure on the other side, putting the retrieval on the side closest to the personal watercrafts, because backing the boat out would be a lot more difficult than pulling the boat in. So that was suggested, and then they're still quite a distance away from the launch, are they not?
Yeah,
48 feet, I want to say.
more than 48 feet. I would say it's closer to 70.
70 feet.
So there's no boats on the, when you make the turn off the south wall, we don't have anybody, no seasonals on that wall anymore?
We do, and we've already gone over that with our seasonal at that corner.
So he's moving?
And, no, he's staying there. There'll be plenty of room. We already calculated all that for him. So. We did have Row Engineering and KB&E Hoist and myself and some other people look at many locations. And because we needed the ADA ramp system, this was the best location left in the harbor. I know there's not a lot of space, but that was what we were left with.
How much over budget are we from the original quote to purchase these personal watercraft docks?
I don't know the number.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I'd have to look at my past minutes.
I know we were over budget, and that's why I applied for the grant, the Community Foundation, because we had to fabricate a whole new ramping system
Right.
for this location. So the Community Foundation did grant us that money, which was very nice of them to cover that cost.
About 14,000?
Yes.
These are, if this doesn't work out, they're completely portable, they can be picked up and moved, right?
Well, you're making this investment in that ramp, that's not true.
Well, the ramp could probably be used in another spot though, too.
You know, if it helps, when you're looking at the boat launch, right now, there's 18 feet on one side of the launch, and there's 28 feet on the other side. So really, there was almost a gain of 10 extra feet on that
Well,
side
I'm-
versus the other side. And we-
Just so you understand, Katie, I'm probably one of the biggest advocates of the St. Clair Boat Harbor, have been for years. My concern is that going through listening to all of the projects that has been talked about down there, they want to increase canoe rentals and want to increase kayak rentals. And the only place to put those in is at that launch ramp. And if you spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday down there, when it's good weather, the traffic is nonstop, either launching or retrieving. And my only concern, and I expressed this concern when Mr. Booth first showed us the drawings. I think you're gonna have problems with retrievals. I think you're gonna have problems with people getting into those things, hitting them. When they come in, especially after a major event, you've got them backed up 3 or 4 deep, trying to come into the marina and retrieve their boats. So that's my only concern, is that we're choking down one of the busiest launch ramps up and down the St. Clair River. Probably one of the only protected launch ramps that we have, up and down the St. Clair River.
When I first went down and looked at that spot, that was my major concern. And then I started thinking about it, and I started realizing that, number one, I thought, well, wait a minute, now I don't think that the personal watercraft people, these sea-doos, or whatever you call them anymore, but I don't think of them and the fishermen will be going out at the same time. Fishermen go out early, come back in by 9 o'clock. And also I started thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't think that all these personal watercraft will all go out at the same time and all come back at the same time either. So I share your concern, and I do believe that we're going to have to watch this and monitor it. But I think, after when I went down and stood there, I think it'll work.
You just don't have fishermen anymore launching into that
No.
launch ramp. You've got 60-foot boats, you've got 40-foot boats, you've
Right.
got the racers come in on the weekends, the clubs come in and use the launch ramp for jobbing noon or week. It's just not fishermen coming in at before daylight and coming out just before 8 o'clock in the morning, not Friday through Sunday. It is Grand Central Station down there, and that's my only concern, is that we're choking off that ramp. I've been trying to get these things put in since we bought them. The south wall was the best idea in the world. We should have just did it, but obviously we couldn't. But that's just my concern. If the Harbor Commission
You don't think
has...
if we switched retrieval and the launch, it wouldn't matter?
Listen, if you sit down there and watch, people don't know which way is retrieval, which way is, because it's not monitored. There's no staff directing traffic. Wait a minute, you can't go down this and launch because someone else is trying to retrieve. It is a cluster with, I mean, and I'm just trying to be nice about it. If you're gonna mark it and man it and make sure that people go in launch, the retreat, or the launch and come in the retrieval, but it never happens that way. You've got them stacked up, you got 2 or 3 trailers trying to pull out and 2 or 3 trying to launch, and there's nobody directing. It hasn't been for years. There just hasn't been. It's not since you came on, it's just, that's been one of the biggest complaints. And I mean, I'm not picking on Nancy, but Nancy, I mean, how many weekends do you sit down there at the launch ramp, and it's one of those, it's the entertainment of Dock One. It's the entertainment of Dock One, and I just think we're trying to squeeze 5 pounds into a 1 pound sack here, and not really put much thought into it. I stated that with Booth, I stated it with you privately, that I think that's the wrong place for it. We spent the money, now we're trying to find a place to put it when maybe we shouldn't put it in at all.
Well, we didn't get any suggestions from anyone else, but we did spend months looking at locations
yeah.
all over the harbor. And being that we already have the equipment, I think that we could try it out and see how it works.
Once it's in, when you put that ramp in, and you put that ADA walk down, I mean, now you've got $50-some thousand spent for an experiment.
Well, you're talking about not doing it, period, so I guess if we try it and it don't work, then we take it out.
I'm not saying not to do it, period. I think that
Well, I think
everybody needs to be aware
Yeah.
that that is the busiest launch ramp in the area. By far, that thing is packed. I mean, and
It sounds like a good problem to me.
it's a great problem. But it's gonna be a staffing issue for you,
Yeah,
because you're gonna
I know.
have them backed up like crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's just my 2
We
cents.
have changes we're planning on making with that. And we're, like I said, changing the retrieval on that side and getting it heavily marked will help. We don't always stick to that, though, because if everybody's waiting to launch and nobody's coming in, then we let them, hey, use both lanes, let's just get this going. So we don't always stick to that. But helping change that would be not having them backing into the dock, having them pulling in, I think will help. And like I said, there's a lot more room on that side than the other side, and people use the other 18-foot side just fine.
Has there been any
So
talk about,
28 feet is more than enough to add that
what are you gonna
in.
do when you add kayaks and canoes?
Is that on the budget?
I don't know,
I
but I
haven't
know
seen
it's
that.
been a discussion
I haven't heard
because it's
about
been a
that.
success.
Yeah, it's been great.
So,
Yeah.
and then the fish station, so, just council who doesn't go down there needs to be aware of everything, the Pandora box that we're opening. If you guys have studied it and it's gonna work, then call the motion.
All right, part of the motion is gonna have to be to waive the competitive bid, is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, so whoever's gonna make this motion, keep that in mind.
I do have a question, since you said that. Is this the only bid, or is this a low bid?
This was the original company from the original bid from when you guys started this that we went with. It was the Easy Doc's preferred installer at the time.
Was a little bit at the time. I remember right.
There's probably not a lot of people that do it, that's in the area, I can imagine.
Any other questions for Katie?
I would make the motion
Thank
with
you.
that amendment.
I'm sorry. Could you state that motion, please?
Make the motion to approve it as presented with the waiving the competitive bid.
Support.
The motion's been made and supported. Is there any other further discussion, questions? Call the roll, please.
Foley,
Yeah, yes.
Kinsfater.
Yes.
Kleeman,
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney.
Yes.
Cedar,
Yes.
approved, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Good job, Katie, thank you. We'll go to B. Approved hillside columbarium purchase. Mr. McCartney, do you want to take that, or Annette?
Annette probably better versed than I am, but I'll support whatever she says.
Included in your council packet is information regarding purchasing a third unit for Hillside Cemetery columbarium. The Cemetery Board of Trustees approved the purchase of a third columbarium unit for Hillside Cemetery September of 2008, pending the full purchase of all 40 niches in Unit 1 and most of the niches in Unit 2. In anticipation of that installation, the foundation purchase and pouring for Unit 3 was completed and paid in full in November of 2013. The Cemetery Board of Trustees determined the need for a third unit has arrived as only 5 niches remain in Unit 2. Young Funeral Home provided the current price from Cold Spring Granite LLC for purchase, delivery, and setting fee, as they did for the previous 2 units. In order to match the granite from Unit 1 and Unit 2 as closely as possible, it's necessary to purchase Unit 3 from the company that uses the same quarry. For that reason, a recommendation to waive the bid process and approve the purchase of Unit 3 for $13,300 from Cold Spring Granite LLC is requested.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
Your motion include waiving the competitive bid?
Yes.
All right. Motion been made, support. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cuffa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Approved, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We'll go to see Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund Grant Request for Public Hearing. Trees.
Thank you. The City of St. Clair is eligible to submit a Michigan Recreation and Park Association Trust Fund Grant, or a Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund Grant. And we had some administrative meetings to discuss what project we would consider for grant submission. And it was determined that we are eligible for the grant, and that the best project would be for the replacement of the Palmer Park Boardwalk. So one of the first steps in the grant application process is to schedule a public hearing so that we can get public comment on the proposed project. And that's what we're requesting tonight. We are recommending the scheduling of a public hearing at the next regular council meeting date, Monday, March 21st. And at that time, we will have information on the project and get public comment. We're suggesting possibly to schedule the meeting prior to the regular meeting to allow for that public comment. Just to give you a little bit of information on the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund grant. So the grant is available for state and local governments to apply, and it's for outdoor recreation. It can be used for land acquisition or development projects. You do have to have a current 5-year recreation plan on file at the DNR, which we do. Our current plan goes through December of 2017. The grant amounts, the minimum grant that you can apply for is $15,000. The maximum is $300,000. It is part of the requirements that you provide a minimum 25% match. So, for example, if it was that maximum amount, $300,000, you would have to have, $75,000 available as a local match. The application deadline is April 1st, and the grants are actually awarded by the DNR by the end of the year, December of 2016. We would find out if we've actually been approved and funded for that. We did discuss it with administration, and that included Mike Booth, and we had a meeting actually with some community leaders, and Bill Cedar was there also, that our source of funding primarily will be the use of our St. Clair County millage money, our local funds that we receive, but we can use as other sources of funding, other grants, cash, labor, or even material donations. We are working with the county with this grant. We have a consultant, Mike Hilfinger, who is providing his services to help us prepare for the public hearing and also for the grant submission.
I make a motion to approve.
Do you want to set that time for 7 o'clock that
You
night?
wanted
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can
7
do it
o'clock?
sooner, or
I'll do it
like at 7?
I second your motion.
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock. We'll do it at 7. All right, the motion made to schedule a public hearing for Monday, March 21st at 7 p.m. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Let's go to D. We added the POLC contract. You should have before you the proposed settlement.
Are you looking for a motion to approve the contract?
Probably.
and I would move to approve the contract.
I'd support.
All right, the motion is made, supported. Any questions? Let's call the roll, please.
Kleeman,
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney.
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Approved, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Number 10, claims and accounts February 19th, February 26th, and March 2nd, 2016.
I got a question, Bill, or more or less a comment. I was looking through them, and I see here we got one for drill bits and fender washers. Okay, it's pretty common, drill bits and fender washers. And we're buying them out of Columbus, Ohio. Can we start buying stuff a little more local? I mean, you're talking drill bits and washers, and we're buying out of Ohio? We have no policy that we at least start somewhere close, then go out?
Do you have that invoice?
That's right here.
I believe that had to be ordered.
It's something as simple as a set of drill bits and some washers.
I think the DPW uses a certain group that they do order from, which they have done in the past, but we can certainly ask
I
them
mean, you can
to
go
take a
anywhere.
look at it, and
Go
when
anywhere
they
and
can
buy
buy
drill
local,
bits.
buy.
Go to Port and buy all the drill bits you want, at least we're in the county.
Is it, pass that down. I don't know the answer to the question, but we can have Booth, Booth can explain it to us. I don't know the answer. I don't know why they're ordering from there. But it could be,
That was-
it
like
could
I
be where
said,
they get
that
all their
was
stuff.
always My only question is, a lot of things we buy from out of state, if you actually sit down and look at these. And like I said, that one just caught me kind of funny, something as simple as drill bits and washers. Go to Beard and Campbell's and buy them all day, or fasteners, or anybody for there.
Yeah.
At least we're keeping the money in the county.
Yeah. Yeah, we can check. I don't know the answer. Anybody else?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll support.
All right, motion made, support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's go to number 11, public questions and public comment.
Hello, I'm Steve Kowalski, and I addressed the board to create a rotation basis on the February 1st meeting. After my recent telephone discussion with Chief Jefferson, he said that he's going to continue to do what he always has and use one specific company, which happens to be located the furthest from the city. And my question for the council members is, was this discussed with all the members, and what were the factors that played into the decision to turn away a new business?
We had directed Booth was going to get back to us on that. Oh, okay. Do you talk to Chief Jefferson, though?
Yes, he called me last week and said that there was a decision made and they're just gonna do what they've been doing and use a, company out of Columbus, so.
I did talk to the chief, if you want to discuss it, on a couple of different occasions, and I will have to support the chief's decision that he's decided to use not just one, but use the two that we've used as referrals for the last several years, and that he would use you and put your name out there to the officers. But I'm not sure it's up to us to direct
Well,
that.
I'm just curious, because I seen it made it in the voice and stuff, so a lot of people are following and questioning me about it, and, I don't really have a good answer for them, and
I think it's made in a voice because you've been here talking about it a couple
Right,
times.
right, I'm just saying, so I'm just curious, along with some others, what were the factors that played into that decision? I mean, was it just,
Well, he's
I think we can answer that by saying it wasn't discussed with us.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Anybody else? We will go to number 12. Anybody on council have anything tonight?
Get out and vote.
Get out and vote tomorrow. Lots of interesting, fun things on the ballot.
I got them all.
Okay, Mr. Laporte, do you want to move us to number 13?
Oh, sure, I would make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, have a good night, everyone, thank you.